Thank you, Dan, and good afternoon to everyone. So, as Dan mentioned earlier, I'm going to talk about gender, and this is obviously a topic that everyone has an opinion on, and gender issues are felt all across the globe, as we've just heard in Nandita's presentation. This is something I'm incredibly passionate about, and I'm really excited to share this paper with you today. So as we know, we've gathered in Istanbul, and we're asking ourselves, and we're asking each other to think big. And I think that's something that we can really agree upon for all of our companies, that increasing profitability is something we should all be thinking big about. So one of the major problems that we see around the world today, in all industries, not just our own, is getting harder and harder to make money, to make profit, to see growth. So today, I want to point to one possible, very simple and easy solution, that gender diversity equals profit. So let's take a look at the state of our industry today. We all know as market researchers that innovation is key in what we do. We see new markets emerge, we're exploring and trying to get to grips with big data, and our offering constantly evolves with gamification and mobile surveys. But while we do see these new ways of working, while we do see these new opportunities and we do see new markets, we haven't seen this translate into profit as easily as we would have liked. Market research is an industry that has seen too little growth for too long. In 2011, world turnover was at 3.8% or 0.4% after inflation. If we split this out by region, we can see that Europe, for example, an area responsible for 42% of all market research in 2011, saw a negative growth of minus 1.3%. Real growth is a very real concern in our industry today. But our industry by its very nature is innovative, it is forward-thinking. So why should we just apply this way of thinking to our clients' business needs? What about our business needs? We are constantly updating what we offer, but how about who we are and how we do business? I think we can all agree that in a post-economic crisis world, it's becoming increasingly difficult to understand what direction is best for growth. But what we can control, however, is how we operate, how to best place ourselves for those growth opportunities. So looking at historically how our companies are run, in a report by M. Winters in 2011, within senior positions, the traditional management style is self-confident, dominating, competitive, decisive, aggressive, independent, otherwise known as the male style of management. If we want to understand how to seek out growth opportunities, we need to go to the top. We need to understand if this traditional leadership style is still ideal, or even working, or even relevant. And what we have come to learn in a post-crisis world, when it comes to any interaction of user and supplier, whether it's a brand and its consumers, or us as market researchers and our clients as market research users, relationships are key. As Kerry Glazer, CEO of AAR, the leading authority in client agency relationships within the UK, said, in a tough economic climate, a good relationship between client and agency is vital for health, wealth, and happiness. So we can see the relationships are key for growth, key for success, and key for profit. Ruth Bolton wrote in Marketing Research that increased revenues, profits, and shareholder value are the result of marketing activities directed towards developing, maintaining, and enhancing successful company-client relationships. We can even see it coming out in the language we talk about ourselves as market researchers. We even become trusted advisors, business partners, insight generators, leaders in our field, not simply research suppliers. So how do we build this relationship building ability right into our leadership model? Gender diversity. Female management skills are based around motivating, building relationships, working in collaborative teams, all of which we all know our clients want and we know are vital for growth. So quickly, just looking at female representation on boards globally, if we look at data published by Deloitte in 2011 concerning all industries across the globe, we can see a smattering of female representation on company boards. We have Norway leading the way with around 32%, and Italy coming behind with about 4%. If we look at market research in particular, and take one of the historically largest markets for market research, the UK, just 10 years ago, there was one single female CEO out of all the top 10 market research agencies in the UK. Just a decade later, still only 18% of employees in market research work under a female CEO. So why does this matter? In 2009, McKinsey & Co., a global consultancy firm, surveyed 800 business leaders worldwide, which confirmed that certain leadership behaviours typically adopted by women are critical to performing well in a post-crisis world. These behaviours include being more risk-sensitive and bringing balance to the decision-making process. We know that gender homogeneity on company boards leads to quicker, more poorly thought-out decisions, group thinking, and an inferior ability at complex problem solving. Whereas gender diversity in company boards can lead to more effective management, better customer understanding, more rigorous and balanced, well thought out decision making, as well as being superior at complex problem solving. Gender diverse boards argue for longer to reach better solutions. An additional point found in a research report on gender differences in the market research industry showed that job satisfaction was significantly higher under female CEOs than it is under male CEOs, being 67% and 54% respectively. Companies with more women on their boards were found to outperform their rivals, with a 42% higher return in sales, a 66% higher return on invested capital, and a 53% higher return on equity. If we want market research as an industry to experience strong growth again and be an industry we can be proud of, these are figures that we can't ignore. As reported in the Grant Thornton International Business Report in 2013, companies need to wake up to gender disparity and add this crucial ingredient to long-term growth and profitability. So why are we losing this vital gender diversity as we go further up the corporate ladder? In thinking about this lack of female representation on company boards and senior positions, I sought to understand those hardwired beliefs about males and females in the workplace. So I carried out a relatively new methodology of implicit association testing within my own company of TNS UK. I had a fantastic response rate of 184 respondents, with a fairly even split between senior management of CEOs, board directors and directors, and the more junior staff of junior management and general staff. To introduce implicit association testing, it rests on the premise that everyone holds implicit beliefs, and that an association between a concept and an attribute can be made quickly. And how quickly this association is made indicates how strongly that association is felt. I also had the pleasure of interviewing a very talented and successful Kantar board director, Mandy Pooler, to give a real-time perspective on the issues facing women getting into senior positions. Speaking on gender diversity, Mandy Pooler said, quite simply, our current business model is killing business. She noted a worrying trend that women are rising to the top less frequently than they used to. Women are checking out and failing to get past middle management. This is seen in the figures as well. According to a report published in research last year called Gender Differences in the Market Research Industry, females make up over 2/3 of all employees at lower levels. But when looking at the senior levels, this female skew turns into a male skew, with males occupying 53% of all positions. Now, obviously, there are a whole range of factors influencing why there isn't better female representation at senior levels. But what I'm aiming to get at is to isolate and understand those attitudinal problems around gender. And the results of the implicit association test? Quite simply put, we think men equal profit. Both males and females within the sample made the association between male and leader, success, boardroom, profit, management, confident, and salary. And those in bold were the strongest associations, where people took less time on average to make that association. Whereas less traditional, softer qualities that we now realise are also required for commercial success are found among females. resourcefulness, proactivity, responsibility, organisation. These are vital skills. Interestingly, no strong associations were made amongst any attribute associated with a female. When asked what qualities were required for success within the market research industry, out of a list of a possible 11 attributes, both genders identified the exact same qualities necessary. A mixture of traditionally deemed female qualities, such as being a good communicator or proactive, as well as being confident, a typical male quality. But when asked to self-identify which qualities they had, males were much more likely to identify as confident, competitive, and risk-taking, whereas females were much less likely to identify with these qualities. Instead, females were much more likely to strongly identify as good communicators, responsible, and consistent, as well as proactive. So we can see that males and females identify with different, yet equally vital qualities necessary for success within market research. Men and women see the world differently, but as drawing upon these diverse perspectives is how we generate new ideas, how we generate new thinking. It's how we think big. So what does this mean? We can see that the qualities necessary for growth and profitability within our companies are found in women, but aren't highly prized and they're underutilized. As Mandy Pooler said, women lack the confidence to put their hands up and stand up for the value of the very different skill sets that they provide and are indeed required in a post-crisis world. We are losing these relationship building skills and failing to make the best use of our talent pool in a very difficult market. Having a more equal representation of gender, especially among senior and board positions, not only makes use of a wide range of skills and perspectives, but it benefits from diversity, strengthening to take hold, like the 30% Club, which aims to increase female representation of boards to at least 30%, or 50 Fit Women, which aims to link high-profile senior women with other women who need a mentor across all industries. We can instigate new senior mentoring schemes, like the one already won by Kantar called X Factor for high-potential women, or the Women in Research Network established in America. These schemes are vital for women, to provide women with the confidence to use their talents and push their skills to the very top, as well as opportunities to build upon these skills. I'm sure it hasn't escaped anyone's attention that I'm a young female researcher, and I find this an incredibly exciting as well as turbulent time to enter market research. I think we can all agree that as an industry, we need to adapt, we need to experiment, we need to try new things, we need to think big. In essence, we need to do more for the benefit of our companies, for the benefit of our talented staff, and for the benefit of our clients. We need to set gender diversity at the top of our agenda and show the world that market research is still the most innovative, forward-thinking, and exciting industry today. Thank you very much.